and gentlemen, join me in welcoming ONIC! The Sky Kings are here to claim their knockout stage ticket with a meta that they are oh so comfortable with. Is that enough to push them through today?
All right, the Sky Kings, not bad, not bad. They're great in their own way. They got fans here even all the way in Paris. There's always somebody looking to cheer for ONIC, but I'll raise you one. On the other side, a team looking to prove themselves. Please welcome the King Slayers, AURORA Gaming! Word on the street is that these guys are an absolute menace in scrims from how we saw them send the Liquid Cavalry packing. Our current MSC champions, AURORA, are not slowing down anytime soon. A win here isn't merely a spot in knockouts, it's proof that they are a contender to be feared at MSC 26.
This match will be a menace. This match will be chaos, and oh boy, will it be fun.
That's all we're looking for here, so please, AURORA, please, ONIC. My friends, you may place your keys, take your seats, and captains, remember, quick handshake before getting into this one. Rose, if you ask me, this could even be a final in its own right, and we're gonna get here. There we go, respect between both of our teams. Let's see, will it be the Sky Kings? Will it be the King Slayers? Our panel, break it down.
So exciting to be in a moment like this at MSC where the fans are ready, the audience around the world is ready, the players certainly ready, and I know my panel is ready. Rinmar, Gideon, it's time to break down this draft, start talking about what these thoughts could be, what else could catch us by surprise. Could be a performance, could be a lineup. So many different ways.
I think first starting off with AURORA, you have to look at the gold lane in Sigiboom. Great on the Freya, great on the Paquito. That's one thing that ONIC needs to look at. Next, of course, you're going to be trading around the centerpieces in the center of the map with the Romid trio. But then you also have to consider, wait, what are they fielding for Rosa? Are they really gonna go on with the rumors that we've been hearing that there are some teams still considering fighters even in the mid lane and then just shifting around there? Is that a knockouts thing? Is that gonna be a group stage thing? We don't know. It seems like the more we talk about the draft and consider the permutations, it's more difficult for ONIC to think about AURORA.
I agree, but we have to listen to, you know, what not only the fans have said, but what we have on data so far. So far, the permutations when it comes down to that mid trio has been devastating. Do you attack the jungle? Do you start attacking the supports? The big Belleric Atlas Valentina trade is still up in the air, and I think right now Coach Midnight is already thinking about it in his head. How could I either blind pick or have flex picks in that particular area to keep teams on their toes?
2 champions, 1 pick. Make sure to grab your My Champions pick in game right now. 5 winners, 10,000 diamonds each. Scan that QR code. Events live until July 27th. Good points they're getting in as well. I mean, talking about that Atlas and that Valentina conversation. Also, I think it's just a matter of how far do you go into the assassin pool, because we started off with Harara and Ling, and then we started getting Harara Ling bans, and now we've gone into sometimes Marcel's, which has a 100% win rate after being let through 5 times, to the Fannies being much more allowed versus they were banned earlier on. And we're even seeing YSSs which have a 100% loss rate every single time. So Gideon, I think, still trying to figure it out on that backside of the assassin bans too.
Well, I think the backside of the assassin bans, it really just boils down to whether or not Harara is in play or not. I think Yi Shin into the Ling has been a matchup that a lot of these junglers have faced off before in previous metas, that it becomes somewhat a little bit more comfortable. And honestly, the matchup hasn't really changed in terms of item progression or even power spikes.
But is it tempo? Is that the problem?
I'm glad you mentioned this. I'm looking at Remar. Both of us agree. It's all about tempo. That's why everybody is looking to pull yourself together on that flicker, just to make sure you're just 1 second faster, just 1 moment quicker to catch you off guard.
I could be in the club, though, that is asking, may we no longer see Claudes in the YSSs? I don't know, it's just not doing it for me in this meta. The YSS feels cursed. The Claude has less than a 30% win rate right now with multiple picks, and there are 2 very talented gold laners in this matchup. You have Kellera, you have Sigiboom. I know they can do a fantastic job with the Claude, but I feel like in this meta is such a dangerous spot for him right now. Hell, even ONIC was able to bring back a Granger and make that work. I'd rather see that right now instead of the Claude.
Well, these early bans are going to set the tone, and what they've done is answer at least one question. Marcel, not allowed. Neither is Atlas or Aurora or Zushin or Paquito, which has been kind of a flex potential gold lane or EXP laner that's picked up in that second phase most often. Atlas a first pick, so is Marcel. And obviously Aurora. So it leaves some things open, Gideon. What's your thought?
This is an interesting opener because I think from the get-go, I think that JWay has already figured out, hey, we want to make sure that we can, start to alter some of these matchups. As much as Midnight is saying, you know what, the Beleric Atlas trade, CW is telling them, you know what, let's take it one step further, right? We're going to get rid of Aurora. Now, do you want Ling or Freya? This time they go for Fanny, but that just means that it's less likely for them to go for the double fighters.
Yeah. So let's see now where ONIC will be putting the pressure on. They don't need to pick the Ling right away. That could show up at a red 3. Just don't consider the long time to carries anymore. No more long farming. Go fast as well. Something maybe to make it comfortable at the center of the map. I mean, we've seen some surprise Selena, surprise early Chose as well from both Vitality and ONIC in the past. I wouldn't... Whoa, they picked it up right away. They didn't need to wait, and then they went ahead and picked up the Eudora. I thought they'd want to pick up maybe one of their roamers already.
You don't want to play with your food, because I think what may end up happening is they're worried about 2 bans or 2 picks from Aurora that would force them to have to change something in the EXP lane or roam before it gets banned out. And so they're prioritizing having the Ling just to be safe.
You're killing it. You're killing it, Raina. You're absolutely right. And now instantly we see from Aurora's side, right? They're still going to try and fight for that tempo. And a lot of it is really going to boil down to how fast you can actually clear that mid wave. Now we have Selena, probably going to have Season Hunter as well to kind of speed up the leash. So not only are they going to get that Fanny like extra fast coming out of that jungle looking for a gank, but at the same time, at least with the Selena, you have that vision of where they're going to move without having to commit too much.
Yeah, this is MSC 2026, not 2025, right? It's Kelra in ONIC going up against Fanny and Selena. I saw this last year already. That was the matchup that was getting referred to in the interview with Kelra, wherein it was Aurora then who were able to surprise ONIC Philippines at that time. Were they ready for this to show up already? Because it feels like you're just getting reminded of the ghosts of your pasts. There we go. I like that. Coming out early, Badang. So what I expected that might come out earlier, well, I thought it would be the Cho. This Badang with all the dive. Of course, we saw how great the Badang was up against the Fanny when it was picked up by Vitality against Falcons PH. Great pickup.
Yeah. And I mean, it's so much has already been shown just from the intentions in the banning phase, right? Again, we've seen a lot of red sides not actually go for the Paquito ban, and not to mention that Midnight is taking the authority of saying, you know what, I will be the one who bans on Marcel. I will give you that free ban on the off chance just to make you go for this Eudora, because he went for the Fanny straight away without hesitation.
Yeah, so now you have to look at the gold laners. Cho gets banned out by ONIC. You still want to consider the Moskov, the Brody, both still in play here. Both great against the Fanny, but then this Uranus, I think, is putting a big question mark for ONIC in terms of their overall damage profile, especially early on if they want to fight for the major objectives, because you have the Uranus there. Aurora, rightfully so, take out the Brody. I wouldn't be surprised if that becomes a Moskov ban later on, so you're really dwindling down the picks that Kelra could pick up. That would be great against a lineup of Aurora.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense here, and I think even for ONIC, they understand that even if they do end up having to play against the Beleric, they can either ban it out now or look for something that utilizes Concussive Blast to kind of help them clear that wave. Because so far, based on what we've seen, Selena's kind of by herself right now, and the only other thing they have to worry about is single target lockdown.
Yeah, we saw one great combo from Vitality, the Badang, and the Melissa that is also still in play here for ONIC if ever they want to pick it up, because you know you're up against a Selena that would want to get close. Once that arrow gets hit on the Melissa, if ever the rest of the team is going to collapse and they have the Badang with it, we saw that a team that's just rolling through with a Fanny up against a Melissa might not be enough. They will leave that open. They take out the Esmeralda instead.
I feel like they're trying to set up for potentially Harith here, right? They know that the EXP lane is kind of out in the open, and more importantly, they've got the Uranus as well. They just want to make sure that it doesn't overlap. I do want to see this Melissa, though. I am interested whether they want to go for red for Melissa, or they're going to wait up till the very end once they got the final confirmation.
Could be until the very end. They could also be thinking of damage profiles and considering, are we crazy enough to pack a Granger up against a Fanny? We do need someone with a Sky Piercer, if ever, to start giving difficulties for that Uranus. But can you even start snowballing kills around that, considering that there is a Fanny? That might be one of the conversations that ONIC is having right now.
It's early game stuff, but like, I'm thinking about the late game as well, because at this point, now Melissa doesn't really have much contention anymore. I don't think there's actually a quote-unquote winning matchup, thanks to, CW getting rid of both Freya alongside with the Paquito, forcing Aurora to kind of play, you know what, we got to start team fighting, but majority of the heroes don't scale, and there's the Harith.
They needed that to match up with the Melissa Minotaur as well. Very good at the initiation. We'll see if they have enough peel, and that's the conversation too going on the side of ONIC. What are they going to bring to round out this lineup?
I'm thinking maybe an Alice would be their best bet. Alice versus Uranus in lane, and then you also have the AoEs to mess up with the Harith. If ever, wherever the Minoan Fury is, that's where you drop your Throne of Ruin so that the team fighting is a little bit more awkward for Aurora. I do like the Harith and Minotaur getting picked last. It's one of the heroes that, despite you not having a ladder reach, Minotaur covers a lot of space with the Minoan Fury that would make Melissa quite troubled but not countered.
Yeah, I think there's also an argument for, even Phoveus to a certain degree, right? Do you want to have a strong side lane or a weak side lane or something that is contestable? And it looks like they actually want to go for something contestable, right?
Interesting.
They want to fight, they want to engage, they have it all in this package within Sora.
Wow. Honestly, looking at the lineup, you could cover up the names and it would be hard to tell who's who. Except so far, Melissa has just been great so far in this tournament that it's hard for me to lean away from the ONIC draft. Maybe it's really just because of the Melissa's record right now that I'm favoring theirs a little bit more. But don't get me wrong, Aurora has answers.
Well, this is going to be a matchup between the jungle and really between all the roles here, whether it's Kyrie or TNZ or whether you got Kelra and Siggy Boom. It's a matchup of even coaches and minds and maybe just the leading edge to MSC. Who knows what to play a little bit better than their opponents. Both teams have knocked anybody who's challenged them back down to the floor. One of them will take their first blow today. One will move on into the knockout stage. Let's get it started and send it over to your casters.
Thank you so much, panel. Here we go. This is the most anticipated match of the day. It's the battle for knockout stage. One whole match. Could be 3 full games of this incredible matchup to send us one team to the top 8, the last one.
I mean, Aurora has just shot into the limelight, and now they're going up against another huge, fierce opponent, ONIC. Another favorite for this event. Can Aurora take them down, or will ONIC show that they are still champions in their own right?
TNZ early on already. Trying to go in. Whoa!
A lot of damage. TNZ falls. First blood over to Kyrie. Maybe biting off a little bit more than he can chew.
That was very much TNZ-esque, but not the TNZ you would expect here after that match against TLPH, where we saw such a clean TNZ. Getting a bit too feisty early on could work, could also bite you back in the butt. Emblems, though, we're going to take a look at the checkups here. Bargain Hunter already to pull yourself together for both Minotaur and Melissa. It's also the Wilderness Blessing here for Rosa instead of what we've seen from Moreno, the Bargain Hunter, or even the Season Hunter for a lot of different Selenas.
Keyboy doing really well with these walls, though. Even that earlier catching TNZ, the wall just came out of nowhere, able to stop him. And Kyrie immediately capitalized on it. We just saw it once again to slow down Pagu, to, if you're going to come into our jungle, be ready to possibly be taken out. And that is what ONIC has already shown Aurora.
We got to take a look at the bigger picture as well, though, for Aurora. They have the 2 lethal ignitions. One burst, one good arrow could send ONIC back a lot, but I think ONIC just have the counters here. Missile arrow.
Speaking of arrows, a lot of damage on a Keyboy. Brings it down to about 20%, but Kyrie maybe looking for the re-engage here. TNC's there as well.
Oh.
Wants to dive in, not going to fully commit. Aurora's learned their lesson. They're going to kind of take things slow.
No purple buff just yet for Kai. He's going to be delayed quite a bit here. TNZ should be able to get it before Kyrie, and you can already see Rosa here trying to maybe force out a retribution, but knows that it's a bit too risky to go all in. Arrow lands.
Oh! Ooh, Rosa takes the purple. Very well done, but Lunar taking a lot of damage. Loopy able to get the kill. TNZ wants to engage as well, but look at the damage. Keyboy tries to stop him. TNZ can't be stopped. Gets the kill on a Loopy, but now Pagu in a little bit of danger under the tower. Kyrie doesn't want to let him get away. Tempest Blades does come down. Kyrie in a bad position, though, under the tower. Has to back out, but Keyboy wants to chase it as well. The response, Keyboy bites the bullet for diving too deep.
No purple buff on the Ling, and you can see instantly a massive mistake, I'd say. In those blades, he couldn't catch all 3, or even couldn't catch 2. Caught 1, and that was about it. We take a look at the skirmish again. Early on, it was Tienzi going in a bit too aggressive. Now in the bottom lane, live view. All right, Tienzi doesn't go for the kill. But then it starts off with the purple buff being stolen away here. Keyboy as well wanted to go for the pick, but this is why the Minotaur is so good at making you miscalculate. You can see a bit of frustration there for Keyboy. The heals from the Minotaur, it gets bigger as you get lower.
All right, so each team has now made their small mistakes and recovered from it. Gold at a standstill. And it's still first turtle. We're almost 4 minutes in, and the first turtle has not been taken. Blade does get locked in for Tienzi, going to be able to see a little bit more damage for this turtle.
The thing is, Trex, and I think for a lot of the viewers, man, we are so used to seeing tank jungles that they usually just don't retreat for their buffs. For Assassins, I think their buffs, purple mainly, is more important than these turtles. So, as Kai, I think you gotta be a little bit more concerned about your purple buff. You need to take it away. If it's getting threatened, retreat. It's all good. Aurora, though, with those 2 kills up top, will be able to pick up the neutral objective for free. And now it's back to a level playing field. Oh, what an arrow there. Crazy angle.
Sigiboom and Kelra have been going head-to-head. The range on Kelra is almost matched, honestly. Sigiboom's, even with being outranged by the metals, he's still able to kind of keep up in this lane.
Lunar.
Down on the top side. Lunar may not be able to get away from this. Tempest of Blaze does come down. They're able to collapse onto him. Lupi gets the kill. Tienzi's got to get out of town. Over to safety. Another kill into the Book of ONIC.
ONIC are just playing it so slow, trying to read out Lunar's movements, and so far they've done a good job at doing that. Abyssal Arrow lands again for Rosa. Just a bit of poke onto Keyboy, but it's all about that right now, ONIC. They know there's only one lane right now that they can really punish, right? In the mid lane, it's just the Minotaur and the Selena way too good at escaping. The Tienzi got that one? I believe Tienzi did with the Retribution. Kyrie's Retri was still off, and now he goes for yet another invade. Tienzi. Sans though.
Nice knock up, a lot of damage. Sans goes down. Aurora able to find pick after pick in there, constantly just testing the waters, pushing in, looking for any target. Arrow comes low. Kelra in a little bit of trouble at a tower. The go away does come out. Rosa doesn't have another arrow to fire off. And Pagu can't connect.
No wonder we've heard shouts for Aurora being #1 with another team. And scrims, dude. They're so good at taking these awkward fights. ONIC built a composition that wants to go in, that wants to just dive straight. And it's really good at countering the Assassin jungle as well with the Eudora and the Melissa. But if Aurora find a way to split ONIC up and take these individual 1v1s everywhere across the map, it just gets so awkward for ONIC's composition to react to it.
And it's all about the positioning for Aurora right now. Even Pagu coming in, keeping vision. We talked about splitting them up, and then we have Rosa in the river shooting out these arrows. One does connect onto Lupi. Tienzi decides not to get involved. Pagu making his way up as well. Another arrow comes down, lands on a Keyboy. Keyboy in a lot of trouble, will fall. Rosa now gonna reposition. They claim the turtle pit, and Kyrie has no way in. Tienzi wants to find a target. Kyrie's forced to Finch Poise, and now ONIC is backed off to the jungle.
Rosa on the Selena, an absolute beast. We saw them knock ONIC Philippines down to the lower brackets of the group stage just last year in MSC 2025, and it was also with Rosa on the Selena. Lupi in mid.
A lot of damage. Lupi trying to defend. Big Minoan's Fury onto multiple members.
Whoa.
Into the back line. Tempest of Blaze does come down. Kyrie able to find Tienzi. Lupi very low, but still survives. But Rosa gets the kill on Sans. Rosa looking for more. Looking for another air to shoot out. Decides not to do it as Pagu and Rosa back off. It's Tienzi for Sans. ONIC wins out on that one.
Crazy skirmish. Kai's recall gets canceled. Now Lunar wants to go for the cut.
Ooh, Kyrie under the tower. Not in a safe spot. Does have full energy. Should be able to get away from this to safety. But the tower will fall on that top side.
Again, it's Aurora just making these moves proactively around the map. Yeah, they went in under that tier 1. It was a bit of a mistake, but it was a risk that they were willing to take to push their lead even further. They didn't lose too much. You gotta remember right now that even if Tienzi dies, Lunar, or even Sigiboom, they're not gonna give out any bounties. It's all about Rosa. He needs to stay alive, but the others can dive. They can pull out these gambles. And ONIC are still behind. A whopping 3,000 gold behind. Kelra's not given space to actually farm out, and it's because of these arrows again from Rosa.
Not only that, but even when ONIC's able to get a kill, they find Tienzi earlier. Aurora's movement on the map has been so crucial. They find both offlane towers. They're consistently hunting for this mid lane tower. They aren't only evening out or winning the skirmishes, they're winning on map play. Just truly have become a whole new getting into this MSC.
It's all about defending the mid lane right now for ONIC. Damage control, trying to get space for Kelra to farm out. Haas Claws built up by Kai. The Flask of the Oasis as well. The Orange Buff secured by Kai, his own, but he's still falling behind a whole level down of TNZ. ONIC gonna look for a big set, but even then it's gonna be very, very tough for them because AURORA have ways to deal with it. You get a stun on Sigiboom, Rosa, TNZ, then you're gonna get AoE'd by Pagu. There's the healing as well that just keeps them alive.
Kind of want to see the items on where Kyrie is in terms of gold compared to TNZ.
Just 700 gold behind.
Not too far behind. Definitely still capable. Lupi as well, holding his own, actually ahead of Lunar right now. That could be the big play. Keyboy sets something up, and those two can output the damage. Not to mention, Kelra has been free farming, hasn't taken any deaths. It's definitely not GG's for ONIC just yet.
Nope. They can definitely scale with the Ling and the Melissa. They will have enough damage later on to actually pull out a comeback. But AURORA, they're pretty good. They've got pretty good scaling as well with the Harith. Even the Selena when it comes to map control. If they continue to pushing these turrets, take away these tier 1s, ONIC will be choked down even more. They're going to be forced to suffocate inside of their own base. And that's what AURORA are trying to do right now with a massive lead on Rosa and Sigiboom. Can see onto the mid lane. And an arrow that lands.
Does land. Lupi kind of walked into that one though, but TNZ to the backside. Looking for an angle. Gonna walk into Keyboy. The wall does not come out. He's able to safely move. Lupi forced a dash away. ONIC positioned back into their jungle as AURORA takes over the Lord Pit. Watch for Lupi and Sands looking for an angle in as well. Kyrie forced up to the top side to try to defend the tower. This could be the play for AURORA to burst down this Lord. TNZ will get caught by the fist crack. A lot of damage. Everyone piles on top of him. Ooh. But he's still able to get away. ONIC now in a little bit of trouble. Sans to the backside, taken out by Sigiboom. Zmon's forces dropped, and now Lupi will be shredded down as well. Rosa finding that kill for himself as Kelra tries to pop off. Doesn't have to go away. Caught in the midst. Kyrie able to find Sigiboom. TNZ finds Kelra. It is hell in the land of Dawn as Keyboy tries to get away. But AURORA comes out on top once again. TNZ goes back to base, and the Lord is still up.
They're just too good in this meta. Oh my god. The healing coming in from Pagu with the Minotaur and TNZ with the cleanest cables to get away from Kai, who's hunting him down with the Finch Poise, even with a purple buff. And you can see that delay from TNZ got Kyrie into such an awkward spot because he already used so much of his energy to use the Finch Poise to try to chase TNZ down. Then AURORA through that skirmish, really just utilizing the sustain out. Oh, these guys.
Live game, thought we were still in the replay person.
These fights have been phenomenal. Great steal by Kai though. We're seeing the glimpses of that M3 Ling Kyrie that really shocked the world with his crazy pattern. Again, reacting to the moves around. Shout out to Seer there, shout outs to him. Biggest AURORA fan in the building.
I like to see it. Both junglers right now, TNZ, able to get out of that fight earlier, getting hit by the fist crack. No purple buff, this is true. Ooh, maybe we get the anime battle right here. Kyrie, TNZ does not have vision on him. He's gonna go back to safety. Kyrie's not gonna force it, he's just, I mean, they know. They know. Either one to probably, oh wait, no, TNZ's like, let's do it. Back in the mid side, a little bit of damage, they're able to take the tower.
An intense game of MLBB with the Lord still up top. AURORA taking things slow. Abyssal Arrow lands onto Kelra. Not gonna bait out any of those battle spells just yet. Kyrie sent into the bottom lane again. 2 holy shields. Oh, it's down right in the 12th minute.
Very well done. Lupi takes a lot of damage, forces dash back. Pagu comes in with a big Minoan's Fury. Able to get the pop off. TNZ finds Lupi into the backside. Kelra and Keyboy also taking a lot of damage as Sigiboom drops in. More damage on to Kyrie now. Kyrie looking for an angle in as Kelra gets free shots from the backside. The Lord has broken through. AURORA decides to back off. Lunar still keeping vision as the rest of the team moves back, waiting for the next wave. There's no mid side. They're waiting for the minion to drop. ONIC has lost an inhibitor as another wave comes crashing down the mid.
These arrows are landing like it's a point-click stun. Sans!
TNZ takes him out. Kelra forced a dash back. They've broken through. Still 2 towers on the bat side, but AURORA doesn't want to let up just yet. Lunar backs off. Rosa keeping an angle, waiting for those arrows to come through.
And this is what I was talking about, man. Aurora, they have the scaling when it comes to map control, especially if they get these turrets. Another arrow lands on Kelra. Mans has no damage on minions right now, and the Abyssal Arrow will just constantly keep on coming. As they're gonna have to react to Pagu Lunar up front, and then the arrows. Look, P.
On Sports does drop. Siggyboom wants to go in.
The arrow
Puts out a lot of damage on a Loopy. Another arrow drops, and Keyboy drops as well. Siggyboom with a double kill. Tienzi under the tower. Songs has no way to escape. It's Kyrie against the world, along with Kelra. But the damage is just too much. Rose into the back line. He wants Kelra. The go away comes out. He dashes back. Aurora not done just yet. They got one more inhibitor, and Siggyboom finds Kelra. Aurora Gaming under the tower. Take out ONIC and take game number 1.
You prioritize the Eudora, because when you rush it too early, you end up going up against a Uranus that you won't have enough damage for, or you're lacking reach. And the problem for ONIC, they didn't have enough damage for Lunar's Uranus.
Look, I think, of course, Luna's Uranus was going to be a little difficult to get through, but that early game actually went exactly how ONIC wanted to go. But this time around, the adaptations are starting to come on in. They're still going to get rid of the Paquito, but of course, they're putting Selena as a priority here on blue side.
Yep, that is a very worthy ban. I think Rosa's impact in the previous game was undeniable. Arrow after arrow, and you were pointing it out to me behind the scenes, the trap placements were perfect. Constant vision reading. And I think maybe that's why ONIC just couldn't get a footing in the game 2-3 minutes into the game. After the first minute where they got the kill on Tienzi, good. After that, it feels like their map movements were just red nonstop.
Exactly, and that's why it's always important, because information allows you to make better decisions at a faster rate. And Aurora will always able to assess, well, or at least assess exactly where they need to be. Oh, hey, top side, we've got 3 traps there. We just saw Fanny Abaddon. We got to immediately start moving over to the purple buff side and start stealing away resources. But this time round, at least for ONIC, a lot of respect is put on Aurora. Getting rid of not only Selena, they make sure that Fanny is out of contention.
This means the Ling and Herrera trade is in effect. And Aurora will keep it open. Which one is it going to be, ONIC? Are you going to get the Ling, or are you going to get the Herrera? Because you know Aurora will get the other. It's the Herrera for ONIC.
Yeah, knowing Kyrie, I think Herrera makes a lot of sense, especially considering that they're working a lot on the early stages of the game against Aurora. But then we jump back, right? What is going to be the next opener? Because now that we see the Atlas go away, a lot of teams have thought, maybe, all right, if we go the Eudora, that's one way of playing it. We've already discussed how we don't exactly want to kind of lean into it just yet. Maybe wait for Red 3, maybe arguably even Red 4. But Beleric has been a guarantee every single time.
I'm okay with the Beleric. I'm gonna pause on my dogging on Eudora for now, but let's see what how they'll be able to translate that in game. I think I wouldn't mind a Uranus or Esme or something like that really early on. Something that demands a really good damage profile to give it a lot of difficulty, so that you force out some early, faster scaling heroes from Aurora. You can save your roam pick for later and adjust it in the second phase. You still have quite a wealth of options depending on which way you're going through. Uranus is the pickup, one of my wish lists.
All right,
See if they'll keep that up.
Let's see if the second part of it is going to complete themselves, because we've seen a lot of blue sides reveal their lanes super early, but this time they're making sure that they have a little bit of everything, right? We've got our EXP already set. We've already made sure that we at least have single target lockdown in case that Ling shows up here on Red 3. And I think that Aurora needs to make some difficult decisions here, because Tienzi isn't going to get an assassin. Then what does the team kind of pivot towards to? And I think it has to be Siggyboom at this point.
Yeah, still gonna be the Ling. Comes in at Red 3. You're now going to be looking at the priorities for the gold lane and the EXP lane for Aurora, unless they're looking to shift that Beleric into the EXP lane and then surprise with a roam pick that we aren't expecting it later on. Meanwhile, for ONIC, pretty honest already, you know that Cho is going to be going into the center of the map. And then you're waiting for their mid and their gold laner.
Oh, really great ban here.
Good ban.
Yeah, I mean, I'm expecting Esmeralda on the side of ONIC side just to kind of, free up some space here and make sure at least Lutfi is going to have a much better matchup to try and control this lane. They knew that Paquito was kind of out of the question, and thankfully Freya got banned out for the side of Aurora. Now Esme, the expected ban, we come back to Aurora one more time. Is it going to be heavy? Maybe even a Lilia? I feel like, unfortunately, Lilia now, her HP is just way too low against these assassins, against these burst mages. It might not be worth it.
Wonder if anyone's cooking up something unique here. So far, though, we can still expect the usual options in gold to pop up. You could even think about maybe Aurora is still considering the Harith, knowing that you wouldn't expect something like a Glue to show up. The Vexana in its range plus its AoE would have been detrimental for a Harith. Maybe if you take away a minute, no? Okay, they'll take out a Brody. So you still have Moskov, Harith available. Claude, maybe I'll have to reel back a little bit into what I said about Claude earlier. He still might be viable here.
I think it's something that ONIC might have to pick up, because I'm feeling like Aurora is trying to set up for another Harith matchup into Melissa. That might be what they're trying to repeat here for Midnight's side. I am interested though. ONIC, getting rid of the Barats, get rid of the sandbags, and now all that's left is going to be the Alice and the EXP. We're still looking for a means to not only engage upon your opponents, but not to mention that there's like a decent amount of iframes. We don't get the Harith, but at least the Claude gets locked in for Aurora.
Yeah. If Aurora will make this work, they play Claude, they play Ling, they play Eudora. I think they need a little bit more tankiness in them, a little bit more sustain would be great. Meanwhile, for ONIC, at least you get an honest matchup in the gold, you know, and you can field any of the usual picks. They do have dive, so if you want to go for something like the Isha as we saw earlier, it wouldn't be worth it.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that could go wrong here. I'm thinking whether Valentina might be worth it just to steal the Wrath of the Dryads, but really it's kind of tough overall, right? Because you're still not going to be able to get the correct battle spells out of certain targets, and I think Eudora never is going to take Purify ever, especially with the meta, the way the meta is shaping. Moskov, as you called it, has already been locked in to deal with the Assassin instead of the Melissa matchups, and now we get the Hilda at the very end to round things out, and I'm liking this a lot. I really thought the Hilda might end up onto ONIC side, but with their opener, there was just kind of no way.
All right, you get two aggressive roamers that field around the map, and hell, the Aurora draft, they were blitzing right through it. Gideon, last thoughts about the lineups?
Last thoughts about the lineups. I'm going to say that this is a lot more even than I thought it was going to be, but most importantly, Lunar on this Hilda is going to have to do a lot of work, especially in the early stages of the game. That Uranus has full control. So you know what's strong side, you know what's a weak side. Maybe that might be enough, but that mid, that's number one.
Aurora Gaming at the cusp of history to make it into the knockouts. They already took down Liquid. Will they take down ONIC in a sweep as well? This is game number 2. Will ONIC force game number 3? Drex, Mirko, let's go!
A back-to-back win, a back-to-back clean sweep from TLPH to ONIC would certainly put them up there when it comes to greatest performances for a team in a group stage, but we'll find out here. ONIC have some solid answers as well, and just like Gideon pointed out, it is much more even here this time around.
Yeah, this seems like a much more straightforward draft from both teams. It's honest, it's simple, the game plan is there. There's nothing cheeky, there's no crazy Selena, there's no weird healers on the field. I'm excited to see how Lunar decides to rotate. How much is he going to harass from the CXP lane?
All right, quick check on the emblems again. It's going to be the Bargain Hunter this time for Kelra on the Moskov, trying to get that item power spike. Quick Suns!
A lot of damage on Hassan's first blood already, but Tienzi in a little bit of trouble. Keyboy will respond with a kill of his own. Jungler for mid lane. Feels like a win for ONIC, and now Kyrie's looking for more. Dashes in the mid side, gets some good damage on Rosa. Pagu as well, but Kyrie can't get the finish. But still, they may have to go back after this lane.
Keyboy.
Kyrie once more! Pagu falls, but Keyboy gets the kill.
Deja vu to game number 1. It's ONIC who strike here early on, getting the lead 2-1. Last time it was a 1-0 pickup on Tienzi. And just like in game number 1, it seems like Aurora are going to have to force, or are going to be forced to climb back in this game already. No purple buff on the Ling, but everything still is relatively calm, right? Some pretty good picks here and there. Yeah. Just that.
I mean, overall, they're going to go back and forth. The same thing we saw last time. Like you said, last time it was 2-2 in the first 3 minutes. Gold sitting at a standstill. Tienzi, just like last time, takes a death right in the beginning of the match. Can he recover like he did last time? Kyrie, though, it's sad that those kills had to go into the pocket of Keyboy. 2-0 and 0 would have looked a lot better in Kyrie's hands, but still, a win is a win in the book of ONIC right now. Turtle is up.
Tempo-wise, Aurora have been able to keep up with ONIC, and the thing is, with Rosa staying alive earlier in that skirmish, he'll be able to get level 4 before Sans. Sans has gone to the XP lane, soaked in the entire wave, and still isn't 4 just yet. He'll get 4 very soon. But that means Tienzi will almost a steal. What a crazy SOD to be sending there. Sans steals the Wrath of the Dryad. Lunar again with a tempo in the bottom lane. ONIC on the turtle.
Yeah, Lunar's gonna have to try to make his way up. Tienzi's looking for a possible steal here. Lunar is gonna try to open things up. Kyrie still able to get it. Tempest of Blaze does come down right next to Kyrie. Kyrie takes a bit of damage, forced to the top side. Rosa falls to Loopy, but Tienzi also low, and Keyboy gets the kill. ONIC finally responding in game number 2 as Pagu falls. Sigiboom comes in with a blazing duet, but unable to get the finishing blow on any members of ONIC. Keyboy still chasing down Lunar. Loopy uses the flicker, gets the final hit. No, it's Keyboy who dashes in to finish him off.
A big win from the Sky Kings, this time on Turtle number 1. They learned from their mistakes. It was an insane utilization of the untargetable by Kai again to react to Pagu with the Wrath of the Dryad flicker combo. Then he outplays the situation, gets away, and baits everybody into this skirmish. Kyrie with the retribution and the play. And now it's ONIC who are leading with tempo and gold. Great reaction though from Sigiboom. He did rotate quicker. Kelra was right behind him, trying to rotate over, and that's why Sigiboom couldn't stay for a bit longer for Lunar to deal enough damage over on Keyboy, and then the dive happened.
Yeah, at this point, ONIC has taken a decent lead. Still no kills into the pocket of Kyrie, but Loopy being 2-0 and 2 on this Uranus can be a problem. Yes, they have the hard lockdown with Pagu, they have the small stun with Rosa, but still it doesn't feel like enough to deal with a well-fed Uranus, and Loopy's gonna start harassing into this jungle. He's gonna start becoming a problem for Tienzi, a problem for Rosa.
Despite that win for ONIC, the lead is still pretty much non-existent, just a 1,000 goal lead between the two. Tienzi still level in XP against Kyrie despite dying 2 times. And now it comes down to who utilizes the Wrath of the Dryad better. Sans has been on it 24/7, always, after getting that level 4, stealing the Wrath of the Dryad over. Kyrie with a jump up top.
A lot of damage. Sigiboom might not be able to get away from this. Use the PMI, and in comes Tienzi. Just to try to ward him off. Keyboy is there as well. The disengage is clean from Aurora.
That's a massive win for ONIC. They were able to bait out the Purify, a Blazing Duet, and the Tempest of Blades with the Retribution as well. This should be free for ONIC, but it's always awkward. Rosa.
Boy, trying to get the knock up, will go in, gets the kick, but it goes the wrong way. Well played by Rosa, but another utility gone. Flicker off the map for Rosa. Loopy now harassing them away. They know they can't fight for the turtle. But ONIC doesn't just want the turtle, they want a little bit more. A lot of damage onto Pagu. Wrath of the Dryad does come out from Sans. It's enough to buy time to take out Pagu. Kyrie gets the kill, and Loopy continues to zone Sigiboom and Rosa away.
A stack on the Sky Piercer for Kyrie. He wants a bit more now as Sans rotates over to mid, but that is a Hilda. Lunar is still going to be able to survive right now as Pagu wasn't... Oh, wait a second, a dive perhaps? No. Lunar gets away. The SOD thrown into the bottom lane, but Tienzi is still able to clear it out. Purple buff gonna be threatened now. ONIC know what they need to take, but they will play it slow. Sans in mid!
Sans takes a lot of damage. Lunar gets the kill. And now Aurora's gonna just, I mean, at this point, they just want their purple. You guys are in our territory. They don't want to fight. They're just trying to gain some ground on the map.
And this is where you get to see Rosa and Sans be a lot more vulnerable than in previous metas against tanks. If you walk up too aggressive, which is both their tendencies, you are going to be punished. This isn't the tank meta where you can actually just stay up front and then just escape. This is the assassin meta. You get caught, you're dead. Keyboy is setting up for something.
Keyboy looking for a possible kick, lands it on Tienzi. Kyrie gonna be able to get the final blow in, and that's another kill into the hand of Kyrie to stack onto that Piercer. In the mid side though, Loopy taking a little bit of shots. Whoa! Kyrie goes down, Sigiboom able to get the kill. As Loopy tries to move in, but Kelra with an SOD into the back line, forcing them under the base. Loopy flickers in, and Rosa goes down. Kelra getting the kill, and now Lunar's in a bad spot. Keyboy looking for the knock up. Pagu also hiding under the tower. ONIC are moving on to that tier 3 in the boss side as they push Aurora back once again.
Oh my God. It's so beautiful to watch. Chaotic MLBB, but amazing nonetheless. Aurora trying to respond over by being proactive after Tianzi got picked off, but then again, it's ONIC improvising their way into a teamfight win, just playing and threading the needles over these turrets, finding those skirmishes, and literally just brute forcing their way into a teamfight win.
And that's what it's been for so many games. We saw it in the last series, SRG, able to brute force their way in. And now ONIC showing that they can go toe-to-toe, play the same type of game as the others. Last turtle on the map, Aurora. Probably won't even be able to fight for this. They just want to go for their purple.
Nope. I think they're gonna have to give this away unless Tianzi finds a miraculous steal, but on Cho, on the hands of Keyboy, I don't think you're gonna try to actually walk up there. There's been a couple of times already where he's been caught by the Jeet Kune Do. Keyboy just has a way with the Cho whenever he's up against an assassin. And that's why Tianzi, the man who's been popping off all throughout MSC, is now 0-3 against ONIC ID in game number 2.
Yeah, Aurora can't really start these fights at this point. They have to kind of let ONIC come to them and look for the bait. They have to get Keyboy a little bit too deep, or Sans a little bit too deep, to where they can respond and envelop the enemy. ONIC, on the other hand, has been able to catch Aurora off guard time and time again. Loopy gonna take a couple shots, should be okay. Doesn't have the consecration right now, but still not a huge problem. Oh! Into the backside, Tianzi with the Tempest of Blades, does land down onto Keller. Keller's able to backstep, a lot of damage back onto Lunar. Kyrie
Wait, the
trying to jump in. A nice way the Dragon. Tianzi goes down. Every time Aurora tries to make a play, ONIC responds quicker, and there's Keyboy, lands onto Pagu. Zoning the rest of the team back, they're able to get another kill. It's double for Sans. As ONIC advances,
Whoa.
Holy Defense goes so down, but in the backside, Keyboy once again setting up the fight for his team.
What a play. Sigiboom able to still get a shutdown, but Keyboy goes in with the Jeet Kune Do, baits out the flicker from Rosa, but finds the Jeet Kune Do on Pagu. So at the end of the day, it's still a forced error. They're still able to utilize all of their resources well enough to punish Aurora and their awkward movements. It really comes down to these members playing as individuals. You gotta win those 1v1s. It's been a lot of 1v1s across the map in game number 1, but now ONIC have read it. They finally are able to adapt to the circumstances that Aurora have put them in, and Aurora, they're the ones who are struggling to even find a structure right now. That's gonna be their first structure in the game. Turret tier 1 down below, but Tianzi's a level down on Kai, about to be 2.
And look at Keyboy in this bush. Sigiboom needs to be careful. May get caught out here. And I feel like so much is on the shoulders of Sigiboom right now with the game that Tianzi has had. He's just not able to fully pop off. He has been a target for so long.
Holy moly.
Sigiboom, on the other hand, still has the ability to scale up. But to be able to do that, you need Pagu, you need Lunar to be able to set something up for the team.
I'm surprised ONIC aren't just blitzing the Lord right now, knowing that Kyrie is 3 whole levels ahead of Tianzi, and they have Moskov to play out in the side lane. But they're gonna take it slow. Aurora are the ones holding the Lord, but look at Kelra up top. This is a bad move.
Kyrie forced away. A big kick by Keyboy with the way of a dragon onto Rosa. Rosa's gonna go down. Kyrie able to get the kill. Now Pagu also caught in between 3 members as Loopy in the backside zones them all back. Kelra up in the top side, chipping away at this tower. Roars is trying to defend the base. Now look at the damage on Tianzi. Tempest of Blades comes down, but it's just not enough. Songs into the backside. Lunar, Aurora are scattered as ONIC close in onto the base to tie this game, tie this series. But they gotta wait for another wave. It's Lunar, 4 seconds on the clock for Rosa, 8 for Pagu. Can they bide enough time? Can they hold the defense? ONIC knocking at the door, another wave of minions comes out. Pagu's there as well, doesn't have a Wrath of Dream, but look at the big stun, look at the damage from Rosa. Aurora Gaming live to go another day as Lunar dashes in, gets pushed back, and ONIC has to run away at this one.
That was a bit of greed from ONIC. They got everything. Yes, good plays by Aurora, but ONIC stayed too long when the Lord was up as well. They could have backed off, went straight for the Lord, but instead they tried to double down on the end and they got caught. That's the thing. That's the beauty of this meta. Doesn't really matter if you're 8,000 gold ahead. One mistake can set you back, and it almost did. What is that damage? It's a whole 1,000 gold difference in the mid lane, yet Rosa was able to burst down these squishy members of ONIC. Oh, Aurora really wished for TNZ to be up right there, dude. That would have been the dream for the burst to come through, TNZ to respawn just on time, getting the pitch poised. But even then, ONIC still have an 8,000 gold lead. They have that far lane control, and they're going to try to burst this Lord.
Even if Pagu had the Wrath of Dread in that split second there, he was still waiting on cooldown. All it took was a couple more seconds. That could have gone horribly, horribly worse for ONIC. And I think this is why they've been taking it slow. This is why they've been careful at their approach in these fights, because at any moment, the combo play is there. We're down to 12.5 minutes, and Aurora still has some ways to respond.
So now we got to talk about the wave clear. Honestly, not too good for Aurora. In a way, usually when you have a Ling, you can actually split these minions apart. You can stagger the waves just by clearing the side lane. But with a Moskov on ONIC's hands, with a 9,000 gold lead as well, don't really think that's going to happen. ONIC are going to be able to handle all 3 waves. So Aurora, they might have to lose all their base turrets if they want to survive in the game.
All right, Aurora going to be able to defend down the mid. They clear the tower, but a Lord is coming down the top as ONIC moves on to the boss side wave. They want to try to crack another inhibitor. Keyboy dashes in with the G-Kundo. A big stun from Rosa. The ult doesn't quite connect. Kyrie able to phase out. Aurora defend the tower. They move on to the top Lord, and ONIC get nothing in that push.
Wow. Still a stellar defense. I really thought that the base turrets would go down with that Lord, knowing that they have so much tempo in the Moskov as well, but Aurora, they've already used the Rector Keyboy!
Gets the kick, but is it enough? Tempest of Blades on the backside. A lot of damage on Loopy. Loopy tries to dive in. He's forced to flicker out. Kyrie in the backside. Gets nice damage on Pagu. Finally gets the kill. TNZ taking shots from Kelra as Kelra dashes in, and Kyrie's got his back. Siggy Boom with a blazing duet on Loopy and Sans, trying to chase him down, but Loopy's on his back. He BMI's back, but not before he gets the shutdown.
2 whole shutdowns for Siggy Boom. They lose out on their 2 base turrets in the sides. But my goodness, did everything fall right on top of Aurora. That was perfect. Keyboy missed the way the dragon. He didn't get the right target, didn't get the right angle. But look at this crazy move by TNZ. I mean, a tad bit of luck, obviously. The fact that the piercing spears didn't get him, oh my God. That was a clincher for sure, even for Siggy Boom here, who had to walk past following through the BMI. Back last second, 2 members down. ONIC now on the defense. Aurora back in the game. Trex, 10,000 gold leads in this meta. It doesn't really feel like the normal 10K.
It doesn't at all. Big SOD doesn't connect. Aurora getting their 2nd structure of the game.
Oh my God.
At 15 minutes in and hanging on a prayer right now. But showing that at any moment they can still outplay, and ONIC has to respect it.
And now it's back to that slow build. It was Winter Crown earlier for Siggy Boom. He sells it, gets the win in nature, knows just how much there is of a threat from ONIC when it comes to the physical damage. Kelra scaled up completely. Kyrie on the Hirara, a menace. Shut down, but still a menace. Not as many stacks on the Sky Piercer, but that survivability of his. Now Aurora,
The Keyboy.
do they read it out? Do they do housekeeping properly, right?
Pagu's
done it.
doing it, but it's already on Rosa. He's already looking for the kick. Rosa flickers, stops him.
SOD.
Keyboy makes the whip, but it's an SOD from Kelra. Able to still find it in the back. But wait, Kelra's in trouble.
Oh my God.
Able to Wind of Nature, very clean. He backs up, he sidesteps, but he's still pushed against the wall, and he finally goes down.
That's not worth it. Kelra for Rosa is not worth it.
In trouble. Lunar, maybe in a bad spot as well. Kyrie able to pick him up. It's 2 members down on the side of Aurora. Pagu, Siggy Boom, trying to defend. Sans moves on. Pagu goes down. A double kill for Kyrie. TNZ, where are you? They need you. You gotta get back to base.
Up top, Siggy Boom clearing out the wave. Final baser of the game gonna be falling. Keyboy.
A lot of damage. He will go down. Keyboy finally gets the kick. And it's Siggy Boom. 6 seconds on the clock for Rosa. Siggy Boom may not be able to do this alone. He doesn't have the blazing duet. He doesn't have the damage. He's trying to defend. The base is low.
He's cleared it.
Rosa's back. And Kyrie's down.
No way.
Aurora still holds on. The iframes are there, but ONIC wants to end it. Can Rosa do it on his own? And Lunar's back up. The base not down yet, but finally.
want to join in, or a Moskov, you SOD in for Turtle 1, and then you just walk back right quick through the river as well.
Well, the Atlas and the Marcel taken down, Fanny as well. ONIC and Aurora kind of trying to throw it all on the line here.
Yeah.
This is kind of interesting, right? So ONIC have respected, you know what, Fanny, Selena must go every single time. But then you come to Aurora side on blue. This time they made sure, you know what, we're going to do exactly what you did in the previous time. We're going to ban out the Marcel. We're going to give you that last option to decide whether you want to do the trade. And yes, they do go for the trade. Aurora gets banned out. I wouldn't be too surprised if this is going to be a Ling and then trade for Cho.
Yeah. ONIC would want to get the Cho, and they have an option to go for the utility jungle if ever. There are still a lot of assassins on the board. You could still consider bringing back the Harley, but of course, as we discussed earlier, the Freya trade is active, and Aurora would rather go for the Freya. They can play the flex. They have options for it. They don't need to rush showing it whether it's going to go into the EXP or gold.
Interesting. It just means that they're more confident in that in comparison to giving TNZ an option or trying to expand the pool just a little bit more, which means that ONIC at this stage need a decent amount of peel. They could go for traditional counters, but that might reveal too much early on.
Yeah.
I think it's going back over to the Eudora once again.
You think Aurora is going to be crazy enough to go again with that Raphael in mid, Barrett's XP, Freya gold?
They could set it up. They could set up for it, but they need something that like hard skills in that jungle, and without the Harara early on, I think now they need something else to kind of fulfill that position. Ooh, pack.
Ooh, an early Paquito. Now that's interesting. So I think they're also opening up their options as a flex in the gold. So if ever that Freya goes gold, then you send the pack on over, and then at least you get a fighter trade in the gold lane.
So that means the Esmeralda, Ruby, Trigger Fingers need to be there. So let's see whether we find any of those indicators in this draft. Then, if you're already getting rid of Zushin, I would have imagined that they would look for something a little bit more peely, right? Or at the very least, the Cho at some point of time. It makes a lot more sense now for Aurora than earlier, now that they've shown the Ling. But even so, I still think that there's a lot of value in it.
It also makes sense to take out the Jushin if ever you're going to be going for like a full dive, because you guys do not want to get like all crowd controlled up in the air by Jushin. So that might have already been a tell by Aurora that despite this looking like a flex, this could be a close to mid-range style of composition for Aurora. And yeah, here we go again with the Uranus coming out early. They get the Belleric. I wonder if they're trying to bait out and signal to ONIC like, hey, commit a ban into the Rafaela in the second phase. We did it before. We'll do it again.
It's a tanky lineup right there as well. A lot of front line and presence. We mentioned Rivers rotating will be on the docket.
Yeah. And the interesting thing is that they're trying to... I feel like they're trying to get in the head of ONIC because within the draft lobby itself, they got Rosa to pick up the Uranus. So it's like sort of telling ONIC, hey, maybe you want to consider that this might actually be going to a mid lane, and then we're going to be pulling out a lot more surprises. So draft lobby in-game,
interesting
mind game stuff going on right now by Aurora, potentially.
Yeah, it's putting ONIC in a pretty awkward position because last time they didn't have to worry like too much about certain things, and they were also actively banning out the Paquito. Now they kind of have to take it away to deny options, but now once again, you get this Eudora, and the same problems are going to occur. It's great when you're trying to peel away this Freya from you before her ult gets ripped, but even so, that pressure, we've seen many, many times, you lose that out fast.
It is a question of sticking to what is good, what is available, and trying to make it work, but also it's a question of how can we not get surprised. Eudora is certainly not a surprise, which means maybe Aurora expected this. You would have probably thought, okay, Eudora Ling available, so that's probably what they'll go to, but do they have an answer, something sneaky?
I'm thinking whether or not this could be a potential Kimmy angle as well. That's another thing that I'm scared of.
Yeah.
Oh, they're banning out the Guinevere just to make sure that these neutral objectives are going to be less easy to contest for, especially since we have anti-CC with Violent Requiem. Esmeralda, really good ban here. And this is an admission from Midnight. It's like they recognize that both sides could actually lean into the double fighters.
Yeah. So now, that might actually be a bit of a reveal of where the Uranus is already going. Because if you ban out the Esmeralda, it makes a lot of sense that the Uranus is going EXP, the Freya gets sent to gold, the Belleric is at Rome, so now you're just waiting for mid and jungle. Because I was thinking, I wonder if Aurora drafted something
that would be a surprise.
Yeah, exactly. Like, is it crazy flex that the Belleric could still go XP, that the Uranus could still go jungle? That's why I'm thinking, like, is Uranus jungle going to be up to speed to the lane? And then I realized, no, it's going to be way too slow.
Is Uranus, Rome, Belleric XP, Freya gold an option?
Uranus, Rome, a little bit a little bit kind of funky.
It would
but
be-
Belleric XP definitely good. Oh, they bat out the Rafaela.
I love it. I love it. This is a position that Midnight wanted them to at least say, hey, recognize me, look at me, right? Get rid of the Rafaela. And now that you've committed to it, I want to see what the conversion is going to be at the end of the day, right? Because, again, Midnight's got a lot of plans, and at the same time, he's shocked us in the first couple of days. If he's got something else in that pocket of his, I'm interested to know why.
I do like this. Double Fighter's been talked about, but we'll see if that ends up becoming a reality for either of these teams. Still on that final ban phase for Aurora. What will they take away?
Oh, they got rid of the carry. That thicker lineup is going to be a lot more. It's going to be real hard to get through. And now that they've already locked the EWC for themselves on the side to ONIC, they don't even have the option of Gord to lean into after to try and deal with the frontliners. What does that leave us with? There's not a lot of good support options here as well. I mean, you can sort of go Badan just to like slow peel stuff, but after game number 1, I think that Kiboy is going to have to take a step back here as they get the Barats.
Yeah.
I wonder, are they crazy enough to send that Uranus to XP you pick up? Oh, no. The Ling is throwing me off. I'm thinking if there's any room for a surprise like Mathilda somewhere, an X-Borg somewhere, but then with the Ling, you're gonna get slowed down in your jungling if you try to go for something cheesy in the jungle.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Matilda is looking real good for either side.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, they go for the YSS.
Man, guys, a little controversial here.
Oh, Low Yi. The Low Yi.
And
Wait a
not
minute.
Unique hero. Here we go.
Interesting. So they want map pressure to be able to kind of, you know, if we're a little bit slow on the turn, the Loyi is able to teleport multiple people at once to a target location. Yes, it is reveal, big whoops, but it's still a way to kind of maintain pressure. Oh, I lose priority? Doesn't matter, I'm still there.
You know, this could be an interesting approach and a different way of thinking for Aurora. ONIC, you think they expected this one? I mean, final pick, they have a chance to respond, but I mean, first time we're seeing Luyi in this tournament, and YSS again has not won a game, been played about 6 times. This will be the 6th. We'll see if that changes here.
Let's see if they'll make it work. You see some cursed options so far, and I think this will balance things out in terms of like the cursed option curses, I guess, with the Eudora getting picked, knowing that the Uranus is still open, the YSS getting picked, knowing that it's going to be a little bit slower because there's the Bears on the other side. Oh, interesting choices, but with the Low Yi, this might be the X factor.
Whoever flickers first loses.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, it's going to be a flicker battle. This could be over in a flicker as well, because you see these two teams, how good they are, how effective these drafts can be. But only one is going to move on into your knockout rounds. One will still be alive and will join another elimination game. But for game 3, it needs no hype added. It's a big one. ONIC trying to take down Aurora Gaming. Let's send it over to our casters, Mirko and Trex.
Here it is, the final game of the series. It's Mirko and Trex to bring you the action of this game 3, and conclusion awaits us. The climax, here we go.
I'm not ready for it, Mirko.
Me neither,
I'm not
bro.
ready for it.
Me neither.
We got a Lu Yi. Midnight's either cooking or overcooked with this one, but so far he has been a chef in the draft. Let's see if this one is going to pull it off, Mirko. Any thoughts on the way this draft turned out?
Okay. Just against these very low-range targets, the Low Yi makes a lot of sense, I'll be honest with you. Back in the day as well, when it comes to the utility jungles, man, like the Barat's over, everybody who wants to stick together, they kind of get countered by the Low Yi, right? So it's AoE damage that Aurora are playing around, and they have a very good front to back. If they can somehow get the tempo, which should be kind of like the win already, just based on the composition here, on those side lanes, they can play around Rosa early on. So we'll find out. Again, it's the Wilderness Blessing with the Braves by Rosa. Even though he's on the Low Yi, does a lot of good damage on ONIC's composition, still got to get that safety net, man. A little bit of sustain. Tenacities across the board as well, though, but nothing too crazy aside from that.
Harry does use the Retribution on that Litho Wander, wondering if Aurora's going to try to capitalize and harass onto this orange buff, but ONIC already smells it coming. They're going to move in, try to push Aurora away. Tienzi might want to get involved in this one. A little bit of damage on a Lupi. Nice Mountain Shocker, good stun. Kyrie takes a lot of damage as well, but they all get pushed onto the tower by Lupi. So well done to disengage by him. Aurora's forced to back off.
And that's what I'm talking about, man. These melee targets clumping up together, it's just so good for Rosa to find the constant yin-yang reactions on him. And it's gotten him a free Golem.
Yeah, they should be able to get this one. See which way it goes. TNZ actually does. Oh, TNZ down! First blood, I think that's 3 games in a row. First blood's on to TNZ, but Rosa does find Sans a quick trade.
Hasn't been the best 2 games for TNZ, man. ONIC really have set their sights on him. But Rosa has done a good job taking down Sans. Now it's 1-1. Tempo up top for Aurora. So TNZ should still be able to get the orange buff and make it in time into the turtle. So let's see again what happened here. It's just Sans with the flicker in, dude. Gets it, shut down, a stun. Kyrie just cherry on top with the Tempest of Blades. But it will be traded, so not the worst. Still really good for ONIC, but not the worst for Aurora.
And Aurora is not, you know, whether it's game 1, game 2, or game 3, they're not going to stop their style of play. And that's that early aggression. That's exactly what King Kong was talking about in an interview. They have to watch out for that first minute or 2. And ONIC has been dealing with it well. Diversion play up to the turtle. Kyrie's already there, forced to back off. A nice pullback from Loopy.
Good stun.
Nice stun on Loopy as well, but a nice stun from Sans as well. Rosa trying to get involved with the yin-yang overturn, but not able to land. TNZ able to take the turtle. Tempest of Blades does come down. Rosa able to flick back. The Keyboy's in a little bit of trouble. TNZ falls to Loopy, and now Loopy drops Siggy Boom. They're going to try to move on to Kelra. Kelra might not be able to get away with this one. Enough damage, and Kelra goes down. A double kill into the hands of Siggy Boom.
TNZ is nothing but a bait to reel ONIC in for the rest of the team to corral over and just pounce. Siggy Boom with the rotation, similar to Kelra. Kelra had the instant rotation first, but again for Siggy Boom, it's about waiting for those resources to be depleted by ONIC already from the rest of the team for him to come in as the main carry. 2 kills over, now the gold lead as well. They even got the neutral objective with that turtle earlier, so man, Aurora really cooking. Maybe that's how you make the Yi Sun-Shin work. Every other team, they pick the Yi Sun-Shin, they play around the Yi Sun-Shin. Aurora like, this is the Yi Sun-Shin, he's a support.
He gets the turtle, he dies, then we kill you, and that's just the goal. You know, but honestly, this has been the start for TNZ in all 3 games. Even in game 1, he got hit by Keyboy, died very early on. So I don't think we completely count him out. Yes, right now on a YSS, you don't want to have 2 deaths this early, but at least this time Siggy Boom has something. They have other heroes to rely on this game.
And I really gotta say, man, very underrated member of Aurora, right? Everybody talks about TNZ, Rosa, even Pagu at M7 because he was the newest member, but Siggy Boom, just a constant growth from this man right here. From his debut on Aurora, actually from his debut in S2G at M6, to then joining Aurora. He's now all alone, but that's why Freya's meta, you know? Never really out of the meta since M7. Thank you, Arfi. I hate you, kinda, a little bit.
I like the Freya. I like seeing it. It's fun to watch. It gives us a little bit of taste in the gold lane. But you were mentioning Siggy Boom, and the fact is, yeah, a couple of years ago, would we have said Siggy Boom's going toe-to-toe with Kelra in the gold lane? Nope. That growth right there shows how far this team has come. But ONIC has the talent to match it, has the talent to snuff it out. Keyboy works his way down, gets caught by the yin-yang, will have to back off. Loopy taking a lot of damage as well, may not be able to get away from this. Siggy Boom gets a knock-up, and Lunar gets the kill. A nice taunt on to Keyboy as well. Keyboy able to dash away to safety, but Aurora get another objective.
And the diversion again, sending them over to orange buff.
Kyrie isn't even gonna try to contest it. Wow. They know there's no chance.
Hey, it's just so good from Aurora. Dude, they're, you get reactions!
That's it. Bada bing, bada boom.
Sans just got cooked. Again, he's been getting cooked.
Kyrie gets an orange buff though. He steals one back. So Kyrie's constantly being proactive on the map. Now, Siggy Boom up against Kelra. Siggy Boom up against Kyrie. Siggy Boom up against the world. Looking for the next target. Kelra might not be able to get away with this. Siggy Boom along with Lunar now. And down they go. He buys the time. Who is this man?
That man, Siggy Boom. Really puts the boom at MSC right now with the Freya 3-0-1 in a 2v1. He likes those odds, just go straight through ONIC. Lunar with the backup, immaculate. Now another diversion, tier 1 in mid, tier 2 down below. They're moving, they're flowing, they're grooving.
They're in flow state right now. Aurora has achieved perfect flow state. They're 4K ahead. It's game 3. And normally in a moment like this is when teams start to crumble. But Aurora's just getting stronger.
No way.
Rosa, able to flick back. One more shot, one more shot. Kyrie, can Lunar chase him down and at least even the playing field? Lunar doesn't have a flicker. Kyrie should be able to get away.
He gets out.
Wait. Oh,
Was
yeah.
it close? You thought that was Ezio, bro? Hey,
Wait, no, that's Keyboy. That's Keyboy.
looking at how chaotic the game has been, how many flanks we had in the last game, I don't blame you. For a second, even my eyes deceived me. I was like, yo, is that
Who's that?
Is that Belric? No, it was Keyboy, just to conceal to help him in case the chase went a bit too far. But Aurora, 4,000 ahead, TNZ gets away. ONIC trying to tie Keyboy.
Ooh, Keyboy does dash in, but TNZ's on phase because of the Traceless. Keyboy now, Siggy Boom on to Sans. Keyboy gets the knockup, but Siggy Boom doesn't want to let him stop him at all. Keyboy will fall, and now Siggy Boom's under the towers. Loopy's taken out up on the top side. Bring me back to the other tower. What are they doing? Lunar finds Sans, and Siggy Boom goes back to base safely.
Not even close, baby. Siggy Boom. Wait, Kai.
Kyrie with the Tempest of Blades, looking for TNZ. Kyrie still steals the turtle, but he loses his life. Was it worth it?
I don't know. I don't know if that was worth it. He took the purple buff as well. They got the turtle. It really comes down to how Aurora are able to convert now off of that kill. Because Kyrie got the purple, I guess there's not much resources in the jungle to take away from him. That very clearly should have been a free turtle for Aurora. So I guess if we look at the conditions, sure, it's pretty worth, right? All right, it's the only thing they can get. It's the only thing they can
At least
get.
you got something.
They got something.
That's what we're looking at. Fair enough, fair enough. Lunar on the Uranus this time, you know, last
Who's gonna
time.
deal with this guy?
Nobody. They have a, I mean, they got a little quick sun from Sans. They have the big knockup. They do have crowd control, don't get me wrong. But are you going to waste all of that on Uranus when you got Siggy Boom jumping around?
Nope. Uh-oh. No purple buff this time. TNZ.
Kyrie with the back and forth will not get taken down, but Siggy Boom's there. He's forced to jump off the wall. Pagu not going to chase him down. Back in the mid side, ONIC just trying to defend.
TNZ is up in levels, 3 whole levels up against Kyrie. Remember, folks, this is a 0% win rate Yi Sun-shin that he's on right now. No other team has made the Yi Sun-shin work.
I've seen worse odds.
You've seen worse odds, yeah. Again, ONIC, it almost seems like they have the good seal from Pagu. Zan's gotta be careful, he doesn't have flicker.
They're trying to bait something out here.
Pagu's on him, Pagu's on him.
Loopy won't be able to get away, but look at Keyboy with the knockup onto 2. TNZ though still finds Loopy and they're all dashed in. Pagu falls, Kyrie trying to dash back, but he gets pulled in once again. It's a double kill for TNZ. It's a full team wipe. Aurora, the holy defense. They need another wave. They shouldn't be able to end it here, but wait, they still have a cannon minion.
Lunar tanks it.
This is bad. Lunar taking the shots. That saves the cannon minion.
Oh my God.
Aurora are going to move on to the base. Can they finish it here? Another team crumbles. Another team